Hi, welcome to another session of Wing Chun. First thing is it's a new year, so Happy New Year. Best of luck for everyone. Year 2020. We should be flying in airplanes, flying cars now, 2020. So I saw Ip Man 4, and I'm going to review it. So, spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about the movie. If you didn't see it, go see it. I would recommend anyone who likes Wing Chun to go see it. It has a few good fight scenes. There is some, kung fu fighting Wing Chun scenes. But all in all, it's as expected. It's not that good compared to the first one. As you know, as sequels go, this is the fourth one. So Ip Man 1 was good. Ip Man 2 was less good. Ip Man 3 was less good. And Ip Man 4 is less good. And that seems to be kind of, they're running out of ideas. They're going to milk it for what they can. So they're going to come up with the fourth one. And they did come up with the fourth one. And obviously, in my opinion, it's kind of on par with the third one, but I kind of like the third one better because the little storyline of protecting the school and the property developer with Mike Tyson being the bad guy and all that, and it was more of an easy story to sell. This one, the story is kind of very weak. The entire plot and the entire story, it kind of like wishy-washy, and it's just very weak overall. But then again, like I said, it's the fourth one. You don't expect much. You're never gonna get like it was as good as the first one was, and this will be the last character of Ip Man. Donnie Yen says that he's not playing any more Ip Man movie. This is by far the last one, and it kind of shows. The movie is really not that good. I think it's a little worse than the last one. It's a little worse than number 3. So I'm gonna just go through the storyline and tell you what it is. So here, spoiler alert. Here I go. It starts off with Bruce Lee being already in San Francisco, and he invites Yip Man to come to his karate demonstration. So he gets on a plane. Yip Man and it goes there. Obviously, this is all a fictional story. So he goes to Chinatown. He gets to San Francisco, and the first thing he needs to do is get this letter of recommendation so that he could enroll his son into the college. And what happened is the Chinatown Association disliked Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee was teaching Kung Fu or Wing Chun or whatever, supposedly. To white people, and that's no good because supposedly white people has been discriminating people in Chinatown. So Yip Man wants the Chinese Association guy to write him a letter to enroll his son, and the guy says no because you need to convince Bruce Lee to stop what he's doing and teaching Kung Fu to white folks. And then, Ip Man disagrees, and then they play table tennis with a lazy Susan. There's a big glass thing that turns so that you can, get your food from the middle of the table. Well, they kind of play table hockey with that, and then they end up pushing it back and forth, and then they end up breaking it. So that was the end of that scene. And really, they know that Bruce Lee is very arrogant. So even if in real life, if Yip Man says okay, but even if Yip Man agrees, yeah, you shouldn't teach kung fu to the white man, but then Bruce Lee isn't going to listen. Even if Yip Man went to him and say, oh, you shouldn't teach, Bruce Lee going to say, I'm still not going to listen to you. So I don't know why, like, they think that if Ip Man agrees, then he could stop Bruce Lee from teaching. So that didn't make, a whole lot of reasoning. So then he goes to the school to try to enroll his son, and it's like every white man is an evil, racist character, and everybody is like a comic book character. People aren't really like that in real life, so it's really, unrealistic the way the story is told. So he goes to the school and he asked for the enrollment, and the lady says you need a letter, but you also need a if you want to exempt from the recommendation letter, you can donate $10,000. And Yip Man was like, well, he really didn't have $10,000, but it didn't really make any sense because that's just enrollment. But then you got tuition, you got room and board, and you got food, and the kid needs spending money and books. Even didn't really have money for that. If he didn't have $10,000 extra to take the shortcut and enroll his son, where is he going to get money to enroll his son into a school like that? And it wasn't a regular high school. It was supposedly some kind of Ivy League college. So that didn't really make any sense. So then next thing you know, he leaves the school, and then the Tai Chi guy from Chinatown Association, his daughter gets picked for a cheerleader as a team leader. And right away, her rival, this white chick, got really angry and started complaining in front of the teacher. And that didn't make sense. She wouldn't complain right in front of the teacher. And, the people are way too evil than in real life. And then, she calls her a dumb blonde because she was picking on her. The white girl was picking on the Chinese girl, so the Chinese girl calls her a dumb blonde. And in 2 seconds flat, she turns the corner, and the white girl gets 5 guys to rough her up. Like within 2 seconds after, she gets 5 guys to rough her up, and they practically beat her. They smash her against the fence several times. They bent her arm, they kicked her, they shove her against the fence. That's very hard to believe. I mean, these guys are Ivy League schoolboys. They weren't thugs. They weren't drug dealers. They weren't thugs. I find that really, really hard to believe that, that they're that evil. And these schoolboys are like thugs. Anyhow, Yip Man comes to the rescue. So that's another scene. So then there's a scene where Yip Man goes and have coffee at night with Bruce Lee. And that's fine. And then nothing really happens. Bruce Lee gets a challenge. He goes out and he beats up another karate guy. So it's always karate against kung fu. I don't know why it's always karate. I really pity the karate people because they've really done nothing wrong, So again, Bruce Lee beats up a karate guy, and that was nice and fun, and it was a nice show. Choreography was okay, although I've seen this actor many times in the series Spirit of Bruce Lee, so not really anything anybody haven't seen before, but that was okay. They just inject Bruce Lee in just because of Bruce Lee. It doesn't really, help the story, and it really isn't. You'd think it was about Bruce Lee and Chinatown, Bruce Lee in Chinatown, but then it's not really about Bruce Lee in Chinatown. Then you think it's the girl and getting picked on, the girl and then getting picked on. But then it's not really about the girl. It's kind of like Yip Man and his son, but they don't play up that scenario enough. So that's like halfway through the movie, and still there's no major plot. So therefore, halfway into the movie, all of a sudden they go to the army base. And then now you realize that, okay, now it's another scenario, and the plot of the movie and the bad guy is actually someone in the army base. So one good scene was that Ip Man brings the girl home after she got roughed up by the frat boys, and she's the son of the Chinatown Association Tai Chi guy, and he slaps her across the face for fighting, and she was the one that was being picked on. So that kind of reminisced Ip Man himself slapping his own kid. So that was kind of a cool thing that you see, and then Ip Man realized that that father, he's such an asshole. And then, then he thinks to himself, oh shit, I'm an asshole too because I slapped my son just the same. So that was cool, And then, so he's arguing with the Tai Chi guy afterwards, and then they go, okay, let's have a match. We'll settle this and we'll have a match. I don't know what's with this. Whether who wins or who doesn't win, what does having a match have any freaking thing to do with whether or not the white man's picking on the Chinaman and whether or not he should write him a recommendation letter or not? It just, I don't know, this doesn't really make any sense. And then all of a sudden in the middle of the match, there was an earthquake, which I don't really know what was that for. It doesn't add to the storyline. But although the match was really good, the fighting was really good. I really enjoyed the fighting between the Tai Chi guy and Ip Man. That was very well choreographed. Okay, next scene. So the next scene was a Chinatown scene. That was nice. There was a festival, and the Chinese kung fu classes and teams were all giving a demonstration, and the Collins, this supposedly bad guy, goes there and shows off his karate and beats up a bunch of old men and old lady. I don't really get it because they're kung fu masters, but they're old men and old ladies. They're like this short, and they weigh like 90 pounds. So to fight a young man, a young karate champ, fourth dan, fights a bunch of old sifu that's only 60 years old. That really doesn't prove anything. So anyway, he starts beating up an old lady, and she was quite cool, and the choreography was good with her actually. And obviously, man comes to the rescue and beats up Collins. So that was that. Ironically, Collins in real life, he is a karate guy, and he's also a Wing Chun guy. So and he teaches Wing Chun in Hong Kong. So that's kind of ironic. It's funny, but anyhow, next scene is that back to the army base. Then one of the sergeant happened to be Bruce Lee's student, and he brings a wooden dummy to the Marine Corps. Obviously, he's stupid, and I agree. He's an idiot. Doesn't tell his superiors and start bringing a Wing Chun dummy to the army, and it's got no place in the army. And he didn't ask his superior, should I bring this? It's useful and whatever. Anyway, he gets beat up by Collins, and then they burn the dummy because you shouldn't be bringing unauthorized equipment to the army for no reason. So that's kind of dumb, So next, they try to pin some immigration things on the Chinese Association Tai Chi guy. And then the immigration guy catches him and takes him to the headquarters. And somehow the army guy comes and grabs him and say, give him to me. And, the army has they're not the police, they're not the FBI. I mean, they have no jurisdiction to kidnap people. I really don't understand. And then the guy goes, okay, I'll fight with you. Just because the Collins guy lost the fight in Chinatown, now the bigger karate guy, Mr. Atkins there in real life, wants to fight the Tai Chi guy. Supposedly the Tai Chi guy is the best fighting guy from the Chinatown. So he can't refuse an offer, and so they go back to the barracks and they fight. I don't know, like, everybody needs to fight with each other. It's just like, why? It makes no sense. So then he goes and fights and he loses. So then when he loses, Ip Man hears what happens. So then Ip Man goes and fights because he lost. Oh no, the Tai Chi guy lost, so he's got to really, fight for the Chinese and then go fight with the guy again. So he goes, he fights with the guy, and the choreography was good too. Not so bad. They should really play up on the fact that he used BOG to win the fight. That I like, but they didn't play up on it. They didn't really, do something to really make you, understand what was winning the fight. So he started fighting dirty. In other words, Yip Man was, basically losing. And basically he did a lot of BOG move, like poking the eye, kicking the balls, pressure points from under the arm and, around the arm and under the arm and into the throat and so on and so forth. So that was really good. What I really, they really would have been good, would have been really good was that, there should have been a part where, instead of him having coffee with Bruce Lee, he should have had a scene where he taught Bruce Lee the rest of the course and the curriculum for Wing Chun, and he should have had some, one-on-one with Bruce Lee. In real life, Bruce Lee never really finished the curriculum. He only finished Silim Tao, and he only started Cham Kyo, just the beginning. It would be really great if instead of having coffee with Bruce Lee, that Ip Man went and saw Bruce Lee at his gun and taught Bruce Lee the rest of the form and taught him, the BOG form, and then telling him that the BOG is really for something that you would want to save yourself. That's really fighting dirty, and that's not really, we don't really, Wing Chun is really deadly, but we don't use the deadly moves because we put them, because it's really to hurt people, and that's not nice. So then at the end, he would use his BOG, and that would be great. That's what I would inject to it if I was a writer, So what happens at the end that, you show him cough just like 2-3 times. And then next thing you know, he goes back to Hong Kong after he beats up the bad guy, and he teaches Wing Chun to his son Yip Jing, and then tells him to film him. And that's a very iconic scene of Yip Man doing the dummy, but they should have, if they were going to do it accurately, they should have did, like I've mentioned in the past, where Yip Man's really getting sick throughout the entire movie. He starts getting sick from the beginning. He starts coughing in the beginning. He starts getting beat up, and he doesn't win some of the fights during the movie. And the bad guy could grab his hair, and his hair comes off, and he would lose some of the fights. And so that would be really good. That would be a really good build up until the end when he dies. So. And then when he gets up, because in the real iconic footage of Yip Man doing the Wing Chun dummy, he's actually 2 weeks before he died from lung cancer, and he was really weak, and that's why he didn't complete the form, and that was really iconic. And they should have had him get up really sick, really his hair's gone. He really looks like Yip Man now without the hair. And he's really like, no, I get up. I've got it. I'm going to be dead soon. I gotta go up, and I'm going to really do the dummy and do the form, and you film. That would have been a very good and touchy moment. Instead, they kind of just, did it like, oh, just film me kind of thing, and it wasn't. It didn't feel as good as it was, because that is a very iconic moment. So the demonstration, Bruce Lee with the 1-inch punch in Oakland, is also a very iconic scene where he demonstrates the 1-inch punch. Unfortunately, when they did it, he kind of, if you look carefully, he didn't really do a 1-inch punch, and I'm really disappointed. I don't know why. If you're going to follow a historical footage like that, which is very historical, in Oakland where he was at the karate demonstration, Bruce Lee did a 1-inch punch, but in the movie he kind of didn't do it. He literally backed his hand off this far, and then he just went, and then he punched. And then the guy just fell on the chair and moved like 6 feet back. That was not a 1-inch punch. I don't know why they didn't, because the way it's demonstrated, as you know, you have to be touching the pad with your fingers first, and then you just do the punch. The whole point of that historical footage is because it's a 1-inch punch, which they really did not demonstrate in the movie. So I'm really disappointed they really screwed up, because historically you got to get things at least right, you know, so that it looks, you know, so you can tie in fiction with actual historical footage to make it more of a cohesive story. So all in all, you know, it's a fun movie to watch. Is it a good movie? No, it's kind of, you know, they're really, you know, milking this franchise for what it's worth, and it's really, you know, not that good. But it's worth watching. I would say, you know, if you really want to watch it, go watch it. If you're a fan of Wing Chun like I am, then you have to watch it. Other than that, you know, it's an extremely weak storyline. As far as the fighting go, the fighting are not bad. Okay, I would have to say the fighting is not bad, especially Ip Man with the Tai Chi guy. I really enjoy that. And I enjoy the old lady, the skinny old lady with Collins. That's a good fight. And the last fight, Ip Man with the bad guy, Mr. Atkins, and that was a good choreography too. So I hope nobody falls asleep, and that's the end of this review. Have a good 2020 year, and thank you for watching. Press subscribe button if you can, and have a nice day. Thanks. Bye.